Henry Ford is the mastermind behind the assembly line. His ideas and ingenuity produced a manufacturing technique that is organized and efficient. Multiple people and parts work together to complete a task. His process is still used in factories today. Henry Ford's assembly lines included many parts. Both people and machines were involved. In the production, each person and each machine had a specific job. This gave everyone a certain place and required a certain skill set from each of them. Henry Foster is an allusion to Henry Ford. This is believed because both have a strong focus on industry. Both Henry Foster and Ford value efficiency, mass production, and development. This connection provides the book with an overall tone of industry and uniformity. In Brave New World, Henry Ford seems to be deified. His first car was called Model T. In the book, the top of a cross was cut off, leaving the letter T. Also, instead of saying AD like in the present day, the society in the book says AF, which refers to when the first Model T car came off production lines. The definition of Henry Foster's last name is important. The word foster means to promote the development of or further. This word being Henry's last name provides that Henry Foster is growing, developing, and adding to Henry Ford's ideas on production.
Henry Ford's ideas dealt with the mass production of cars both quickly and efficiently. This way of thinking is also shown in Brave New World through the process of human reproduction. Both means of production had assembly lines that efficiently created identical products. In the book, the character Henry Foster is based on Henry Ford. The way they are similar is their large focus and obsession on production. Both carry out the idea of importance that they always need to keep finding ways to manufacture more in less time. Henry Ford constantly occupied himself in his work, whether it was trying to save money or trying to improve assembly of his cars. To keep up with supply and demand, he took it upon himself to always search for better means of production. With mass production, Henry Ford found that producing identical cars that were made all the same way was the cheapest and most efficient way, and through the assembly lines thousands upon thousands of identical cars were made. Each car manufactured is exactly alike in appearance and internally as well. The cars are similar to the clones in A Brave New World because both the cars and the clones were a product of the idea of wanting to produce products efficiently and cheaply.
Henry Ford was strongly against labor unions because he saw them as unnecessary and detrimental to production. In 1937, at a Ford factory in Detroit, Michigan, Ford security guards beat pro-union protesters while police stood by watching. This later became known as the Battle of the Overpass. Ford was the first major car manufacturer to cut its worker shifts to 8 hours. Although initially criticized for being socialist, this reduction in the workweek increased profits and caused its competitors to also institute shorter workdays because they feared losing workers to Ford. In order to increase production, Henry Ford knew that he had to employ the best workers. In 1914, Ford doubled the salary of his workers by paying them $5 a day in order to attract his competitors' employees. He also wanted his employees to be able to buy his cars and put more money back into the company. If the Ford Motor Company was profitable at the end of the year, it shared some of its profits with employees who had worked at the company for at least 6 months. However, in order to receive this money, employees had to refrain from excessive drinking and gambling. To enforce this rule, Ford hired investigators to spy on his employees. In the same way that the Will controllers prevented rebellion with drugs and sex in Brave New World, Henry Ford tried to prevent the formation of labor unions with high wages and shorter workdays. When this did not work, he used violence, to prevent his employees from joining labor unions.
Thank Ford is an allusion to the Bible, similar to how Christians thank Jesus for his teachings. In the Brave New World, they thank Ford for his innovation of mass production in society as Ford revolutionized industrialization. Therefore, this utopia society views Ford as a source of inspiration as their lives are based off of mass production. Henry left a legacy behind instituting the assembly line, leading to a boom of mass production. However, his new policy was very impersonal and each worker only served a job. Similar to how in Brave New World, Ford left a legacy AF of the mass production of society and the very impersonal relationships with no families, along with the people only serving purpose of working. Henry Ford created many jobs for thousands of Americans, creating the middle class of American society. While at the same time, Ford was controlling his workers with spies watching their daily lives and their morality. Similar to Brave New World, which the government created classes and were able to control society through their jobs and class system. In Brave New World, Henry Ford creates a tone of irony and satire with industry because his actual intentions of rewarding and spying on workers in the mass production were only meant to better society, while in the book, Henry Ford's methods were only used for government power and control of the people. Bibliography.